How's it hanging, Jack Tackers, and welcome back to another video for you guys. Today, I'm going to be doing my review for The Last of Us Season 1 finale. I can't believe that this show has already come to an end, and I apologize that this review is a little later than normal at least, because I was watching the Oscars, and sorry, they took priority over this. I know I said that I might watch this one when it came out, but I was like, nah, I'm watching the Oscars. I had a little bit of an Oscars party, sorry. Anyways, time to talk about The Last of Us, and this was just a fantastic episode, a fantastic conclusion to the series, well, not the series, but the season, because of course, we're going to be getting Season 2, that's already been confirmed, and that's very exciting. Obviously, that will be portraying the second game, because we wrapped up all of the first. Now, this was also confirmed a while ago that Season 1 of The Last of Us is going to show the entirety of the first game, and I'm glad that they decided to go down that route. However, before we get into the review proper, I did kind of want to discuss some of the worries, I guess you could say, that people had going into this episode. Now, a lot of people were saying they might be cramming too much stuff into it, and a lot of people were worried that they could be rushing things because this episode was also only 43 minutes long, which I believe is the shortest runtime that we have gotten for an episode so far. And now here's the thing, 43 minutes isn't actually that long, or isn't actually that short, rather. It's not incredibly long because, again, we've had like hour and 20-minute episodes. But like for a standard, like if we're talking about cable television, 43 minutes is actually fairly decent, a decent runtime and not that short. A lot of people get weird with runtimes. I just wanted to kind of give my 10 cents real quick because some people were wondering if it was going to get rushed because, again, the runtime wasn't very long, and there was a lot of things kind of going on in this episode, and this was the conclusion to the season. You know, it was kind of like a big deal, I guess you could say, which, yes, it was a big deal to, you know, have a finale that we've had many great episodes so far, so you want to kind of nail the landing, of course. And luckily they did. Again, I already said this was a fantastic episode, and I would not say that this episode was rushed. However, yes, it was very, very fast-paced. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. Not a lot of stuff. It's a fairly simple story. Again, a lot of it was actually ripped right from the video game. I mean, they didn't even... There was a few... I mean, well, let's just get into it. The cold opening, which I'm glad they returned to the cold opening because I believe the first two episodes had a cold opening, and I'm glad they did one. We have Ellie's mom giving birth to Ellie, of course, played by Ashley Johnson. Now, I knew going into this Ashley Johnson was going to be in this episode. Obviously, Ashley Johnson voices Ellie in the video game, of course. We got Troy Baker in the last episode who voiced Joel. So it was cool to see Ashley Johnson portraying none other than Ellie's mother. So that was pretty neat. And basically they explained why Ellie is immune. I mean, that was pretty neat. She gets infected in here. Ashley Johnson's character, Ellie's mom, she gets infected. And it's before she lies to Marlene. When Marlene shows up, she's like, yeah, I cut the umbilical cord after or before I got infected. But really, we all know that Ellie's mom cut it after she got infected because she kills the infected and bada bing, cuts the umbilical cord. She didn't even realize she was giving birth. And it's just such BS, man. Oh my gosh, it was incredibly sad. I mean, this episode, it's The Last of Us at this point. I mean, what do you expect? Of course it's going to be sad. But it was just, I was upset as all get out when I saw that Ellie's mom had gotten infected because she gave birth so freaking easily, dude. She didn't even realize she gave birth. She was like, oh, okay, the baby's here. But then, yeah, infected. Just very, very tragic. And obviously Marlene has to kill her. And yeah, it was a very, very sad moment. But yeah, I enjoyed the cold opening. Now we cut back to Joel and Ellie. They're still trying to get to the hospital, of course. And Ellie's kind of traumatized after the events of the last episode. Understandably so, because she went through so many things in that episode. So many just awful stuff that she had to witness. And we get the giraffe scene, which kind of cheers her up a little bit. And I was wondering if they were going to do the giraffe scene or not. I really needed them to do it. Because I'll be honest, probably the best scene in the game, low-key. I love animals, so I love giraffes. They were just so freaking majestic, dude. I mean, also, the budget for the giraffes. Like, I didn't know in that one scene when the giraffe was eating the leaves whether or not that was a real giraffe or CGI. I want to say it was like a mixture of both, to be honest, because sometimes it looked very real. Either that or they had fantastic CGI. I feel like it might have been a mixture of both, but like, did they really get a real giraffe? Like, I don't know, man. But like, either way, I have to geek out on that scene. I mean, a lot of people really wanted to see that scene too, though. I'm not the only one, so a lot of people are kind of geeking out over that. I mean, the giraffe scene, it's just so majestic. It's so cool. Escaped zoo animals because of the apocalypse. I mean, where else are the animals going to go? And yeah, it's just, it's very, very cool. I loved that scene. I'm so glad they included it because I really was worried. And as soon as Ellie started to get excited, she's like, Joel, you got to see this. I was like, oh, heck yeah, brother. We already know what's going down. Very awesome. And then we get a very emotional scene, another very emotional scene. Again, many emotional moments in this episode, of course. But Joel telling Ellie he attempted to off himself, basically. And yeah, it's just, that was tragic. That was tragic stuff. After Sarah dies, he admits to Ellie that, yeah, he was going to shoot himself. And he missed, obviously. Luckily, Ellie admits. She's like, oh, I'm glad that didn't work out. And yeah, it was just Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey in that scene. Good stuff. It was amazing. Really beautiful moment and tragic. But yeah. That moment, that scene was very necessary for this episode. It makes you understand Joel's actions in the final moments of the episode even more so. I mean, you already understood Joel. Again, and I knew it was coming from, knowing the story of the video game. Granted, yet again, I have to say this, I didn't actually play the video game. I only watched people on YouTube play it. Not the same thing, but I do know the story well enough, so I knew what Joel was going to pull. I knew what he was going to pull at the hospital. And yeah, that scene with when Joel says that he was going to off himself, yeah, it just really puts you in his his mental state. And I think this show overall did a great job at kind of examining Joel's mental state. Now, I talked about this in my episode 6 review that, with the panic attacks and stuff, you really get a very good look into his psyche and just kind of all the things that have been going on inside of him. And it makes sense because in this world that they're living in, it's just awful. And yeah, it was really good because Ellie basically saved Joel's life in a lot of ways. I mean, really, especially after Tess has died, Joel, if Ellie died, Joel would not want to keep going. And Joel and Ellie make it to the hospital, although they're kind of captured. They don't really make it to the hospital. They're more so captured. And Joel wakes up in the hospital, and Marlene is there, of course. But Ellie needs to basically die in order for the cure to be made because the cordyceps are in the brain. And yeah, she was in surgery, and Joel's like, I'm not losing Ellie. I don't like this. Of course, again, completely understandable. And he goes on a rampage and kills all the guards and the one doctor. That's a surprise tool that'll help us later. Yeah, that doctor, those who know, those who don't. Anyway, yeah, that was just a very great scene, him killing all those people in the hospital, Rambo style. I've never seen Rambo. Or First Blood, I think it's actually called. But it was kind of Rambo style, I assume. And it was just a very good moment. And now here's going back to the whole whether or not this episode was rushed. I mean, all the emotional moments landed for me. So at the end of the day, I really feel like that's all that matters because, if the emotional moments land, then I feel satisfied in a weird way because it's like, all right, man, this show just keeps, gut punching me. And that's exactly what this episode did, especially in that moment when it kind of slows down and the music comes in and he's killing all those people. It's very tragic, of course, but, it was still badass, of course, and just a great moment. And then at the end, Joel kills Marlene, of course. And they did it like almost exactly like the video game's ending. And then you find out Ellie's in the back of his truck. Or I don't know if it was actually a truck. I think it was just a car. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Vehicle. But yeah, and Ellie, she's got an idea of that, what Joel has told her that went down at the hospital with the Fireflies. She's like, I don't know, brother. I don't know. And she obviously makes Joel swear to her, just like in the ending of the video game. It's just ripped right out from it, basically. And I really loved it. I mean, it was a great ending. It ends, with her saying, okay. I mean, it's just like, yeah, it's very poetic cinema. It's good stuff. It's very good. And Joel talking about his daughter to Ellie again, saying how Sarah would have liked Ellie, and just sad and beautiful and amazing. And I almost want to do like a season 1 review of the show. I don't think I will, because it seems kind of redundant because I've reviewed every single episode. So if you want to know my whole thoughts on the show, just watch my other reviews. But I don't know. I think part of me kind of still wants to make a whole season review, but yeah, it seems redundant. I really don't think I will. But anyways, that's episode 9. That's the finale of The Last of Us Season 1. Look for the Light, I believe the episode title was called. And which is a callback to what the first episode was called, the pilot, When You're Lost in the Darkness. And it's just kind of, it's that phrase tied together, tying the whole season together. Beautiful. Loved that. And it was a fantastic episode. Really good stuff. I would definitely be curious to see what you guys have to say about it, though, down in the comments below. Because going back again to the whole rushed thing, was it rushed? I don't think it was. It worked for me. It really, really did. This episode was very great. And I enjoyed it a lot, even though it also was very painful to watch. That's The Last of Us for you. Enjoying, entertaining, you enjoy it, but it is also very sad. But anyway, I'm just rambling now. That is my thoughts on the finale. So yeah, please let me hear yours down in the comments below. If you guys liked this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And, while you're at it, go down in the description and check out my social media, my Twitter. I would greatly appreciate it if you gave me a follow on there so you can stay up to date with me, because I tweet every day. But yeah, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.